Mindfulness practice is a fine pastime, but I wish it wasn't so humorless. I don't practice it. I'm too restless. I figure I'll meditate when I'm dead. Still, I do plenty of things that make me be here nowish. For one thing, I play music. If the goal is to visit your inner life, I do a lot of that too. Many folks tell me my life is way too examined. I'm in my head and have been since I was a troubled 8-year-old in 4-day-a-week on-the-couch psychoanalysis for 5 years. I'd lie on the couch and talk about what was going on inside me. My analyst sat out of sight behind, saying little but prompting me occasionally to examine what I was saying. There was so much spelunking around in my heart and mind, which I followed with 5 more years on the couch, starting at age 32. Pricey. Time-consuming. I didn't come away purged, pure, living in the present moment. Instead, I came away contented with my discontent, okay with who I ended up being. Not just okay with me, but all of us, content with the world I've got and all the human company here, muddling our way through uncertainty, trying to do right, but often getting it wrong anyway, trying to be consistent when we are inherently inconsistent. My deepest introspection exposes me to our inescapable ambivalence, the ways in which we want opposite things. How could we be otherwise? Juggling so many factors, trying to find the ever-shifting middle path through opposite perils, trying to avoid being too much or not enough on so many dimensions, trying to read the ambiguous writing on the walls through the lens of our own interpretive limitations. Trying to be hopeful and realistic when they're practically opposite virtues. It made me the ironist I am today. Humanity is a horror show and a hoot. I wish we could all just admit it. Stop romanticizing humanity as though our powers of reason made us paragons of virtue. Getting there through psychoanalysis is time-consuming and pricey, often with a different goal, like finding the ultimate explanation for why you're a nervous wreck. I wish there were a faster, cheaper path that macheted its way through the thicket of our defenses out into the clearing where we could all meet in the muddle of being human. Mindfulness meditation is good and cheap. You can pay for retreats, but you don't have to. All you need is a place to sit. I often wonder if there's a way that sitting alone with our thoughts could be put to better uses. A way it could lighten us up about the seriousness of life. Maybe if mindful didn't have such humorless connotations. Maybe if its goal wasn't emptying the mind, which sounds more like mindlessness. Maybe if it wasn't so ambivalent about what it's for, eliminating thought or becoming more thoughtful, self-improvement or self-acceptance, the spiritual path to higher consciousness or accepting our lowly nature, paying attention to everything, nothing, one thing, or the right things. What if the goal wasn't to quiet the monkey mind, but accept monkey mind as human nature? Make friends with it. Accept that this is what we turned out to be. Mid-sized mammals, weathering the din of dysfunction common to us all. Voices in our heads pitted against each other in a world accelerating into mind-boggling complexity. And all up in our face about it, all the time. What if instead of aiming for enlightenment, we accepted just being normal and made our meditation a study of what normal really is? Us modern humans with our high expectations and aspirations trying to be good or at least feel good about ourselves as we navigate too much world, too many winding, trafficky roads all at once. Laugh about it. Laugh about our internal inconsistencies. Own them, recognizing that there's no escape from them other than death, which, for the living, is the very thing we're most trying to avoid. Mindfulness practice often seems to be about trying to land in simplicity, animal envy, a bovine state of mindless presence, or worse, robot envy, as if we could ever become the perfect tool, an algorithm with no emotions, regrets, or mistakes. Instead, mindfulness practice could be about admitting that we're multi-level headed, zooming our perspectives in and out, trying to find the context from which to best make the decisions at hand. Inescapably iffy guesswork. I never graduated from psychoanalysis, not at 13, not at 37. Both times my psychoanalyst told me I wasn't done yet. Rather, I broke from it once and for all after hearing the guru Ram Dass say something like, I had 10 years of psychoanalysis. I taught psychology at Harvard. I'd studied with the greatest gurus in India and took every psychedelic drug there is. Still, I haven't lost a single neurosis. They've just gotten smaller. They used to be so daunting. Now, when they show up like gremlins, I invite them in for tea. Maybe I was ready to leave psychoanalysis anyway. My attention was turning from what's wrong with me to what's up with us. But there was something about him saying it that made me recognize the value of all that earnest introspection I'd done and be done with it. In analysis, I'd visited all the stations of the cross, all the phases of grief about who I am, denial, anger, bargaining, depression. I'd sleep through pricey sessions when I couldn't bear looking at my grubby motives. And in the end, some kind of motley acceptance. At first, the acceptance had me laughing nervously about my nature. Eventually, it was more natural, easy laughter. Psychoanalysis was great for getting me to look at my shit, but not great for getting me to move on from it. For that, I had to leave it behind, laughing at my monkey mind, spelunking around in it more like an anthropologist than a patient, learning how it works and working with it such as it is. Ever since then, I've wondered if there's a cheaper, less time-consuming way to get through that grieving process about who we turn out to be. I don't bet it's mindfulness meditation, as it's currently promoted.